Have you ever wondered what are the differences between Hokkien versus Mandarin? Take for an example, eating porridge in Mandarin is called 吃粥, Hakka, 食粥, Cantonese, 食粥, but Hokkien is 食米 or 食米. Why is that so? The reason for such huge differences is that Hokkien is much older language compared to Cantonese, Hakka, Mandarin, and Hokkien itself might have descended directly from the Old Chinese. Historically, the Hokkien served as lingua franca amongst overseas Chinese community, especially in Southeast Asia. Trails of exquisite Hokkien can be found, especially in Baba Nyonya's Peranakan culture, which incorporate the Minnan language and assimilated with the local Bahasa Melayu. Hi, my name is Evan and welcome to Fearless Passport. The term Hokkien is not usually used in mainland China or Taiwan. Conversely, Hokkien is the referred name, especially in Southeast Asia, as the Southern Minnan language originating from the southeastern part of Fujian province, particularly in Quanzhou and Zhangzhou of southeastern mainland China. However, for this video purpose, we will still use Hokkien to describe the Minnan descent in Southeast Asia. As usual, let us dive deeper into the history to understand more of this Hokkien history. Based on research, more than 2,000 years ago, there were constant warfare occurring in the central plain of China. And it's only normal for the Han people in the North China to initiate the migrations to the south for survivals. And once these war refugees settle down, they retain their ways of common language, and the Minnan language generally can be categorized into three principal variants. That is Quanzhou, Qinqiu, Zhangzhou, Changqiu, and Amoy, Xiamen. The Quanzhou variant is more inclined to the Old Chinese spoken in the central plain of China from the prehistoric era, while the Zhangzhou variant is inclined towards the northern Middle Chinese. Generally, Quanzhou dialect spoken in Quanzhou is the traditional standard Minnan with the purest accents and most conservative Minnan dialect. However, in the late 18th to early 19th century, Xiamen, which is Amoy, became the principal city of southern Fujian. This Amoy dialect is adopted as modern standard Minnan, which is a hybrid of Quanzhou and Zhangzhou dialects. The Amoy dialects play an influential role in history, especially in the relations of Western nations with China. This variant, the Amoy variant, is widely spoken in Taiwan with the exceptions of foreign loanwords, while the Quanzhou and Zhangzhou are more concentrated in Southeast Asia. The migrations of Hokkiens to Southeast Asia can be generally split into two. First was in the early 1800s where the Straight Chinese of Hokkien came to Nusantara for maritime trade. The Straight Chinese of Hokkien descendants are very successful traders, merchants and also entrepreneurs. Their businesses include real estates, shipping, essential supply trades and banking sectors. So they married to the local woman to form the one and only Baba Nyonya culture. In their children, the Chinese or Peranakans are descendants of mixed Chinese and Malay Indonesia heritage. They form a higher socio-economic class in comparison with the rest of the Chinese immigrants. They receive an English education from Western country, but still retain their Chinese surnames and also cultural practice, including the ancestors' worship. Their wealth can prominently found in their mansions, their clothes, kitchen utensils, and many more. Due to their ability to speak Malay, English, and Chinese dialects, which is Hokkien or Teochew, many of them work for British trading companies such as intermediaries or civic leaders by British authorities. In the old days, when Japanese came and attacked Malaya in the World War II, Baba Nyonyas are the ones who were given faith and get to escape to Western countries. The second wave of Hokkien immigration took place during the Chinese diaspora to Nanyang as coolie or contract laborers. During the Chinese Nanyang diaspora, Hokkiens and Teochews from different cities in Fujian province fled during different times, and they ended up in different parts of Southeast Asia. Since the Nanyang was a broad region from Philippines in the east to Myanmar in the west, these Hokkiens or Minnan refugees established in different settlements. Those from around Zhangzhou ended up on the northern coast of Malay Peninsula, which is today's northern Malaysia such as Penang, Kedah, while some occupying northern parts of Indonesia such as Medan and also North Sumatra. The Quanzhou Minnan people were occupying the southern regions, which is today Singapore, southern Malaysia like Johor, Klang, Indonesia, Riau, and also surrounding islands. That is why you see different accents between Penang Hokkien and Southern Hokkiens in Malaysia, which we will explain further later. In the better days, most early Hokkiens worked in shipping, banking, finance, insurance, building and constructions, as well as manufacturing industries. They were also involved in trade, particularly spice trade, and in the trading of coffee, rubber, flour, Chinese tea, textiles, and rice. Basically, the Hokkiens helped to build up the local economies of the new land that they settled in. Fast forward to our modern days, Hokkien speakers still form the largest group of overseas Chinese in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Philippines. And it is not difficult to interpret most of the tycoons in Southeast Asia, regardless of which country they are from Hokkien descent, because of their entrepreneurships and also hardworking attitude. The Hokkiens has 7 tones, not 4 like the Mandarins. So in short, the famous Penang Hokkiens and Medan Hokkiens are based on Quanzhou dialect, whereas the Southern Peninsula Malaysians are based on the Quanzhou dialect. And because I'm not a Hokkien person, I'm Hokkien way or Hokkien Wa. I purposely pull a few connections to get these recordings in comparisons of Hokkien variants. So you will see the Penang one, the Northern Quanzhou variant, Klang, the Quanzhou variant, Jakarta Hokkiens, and also original Quanzhou variant in China. I used to have an ex-colleague from China. He's from Quanzhou. So let's see what are the differences.
我是福建人，
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 我是福建泉州人，
我不多要，
我巴多摇，
我是多摇，
我北岛腰，
你叫什么名？
你叫哈咪名？
你叫啥物名？
你叫什么名哩？
嘛，你几點了啊？
這句幾點了？
一句幾點？
現在幾點了？
我伫這邊等你，
我佇這道等你，
我等你伫這兜，
我伫這裡等你。
你要去個咯？
你愛去倒落？
你要去倒落？
你要去倒落？
我被對厝困了，
我愛對厝困了，
我要去困，
我要回家困。
Not only the intonations are different, today the overseas Chinese, especially Malaysian and Indonesian, we all speak a form of Hokkien that has a lot of loanwords that borrow from Malay. The Betawi Malay language, spoken by some 5 million people in and around Indonesian capital, includes numerous Hokkien loanwords due to the significant influence of Chinese Indonesian diaspora. So let's take a look at some of the keywords of loanwords from the Malay language. The first one is called Gongsi. Interestingly, the word Gongsi stemmed from Chinese descendants living overseas. They would develop a community together in their adopted country. It is still used today to mean cooperations. Gongsi also means to share or to work together. The second one would be bakso, bakmi, bakpia or bakpao. We mentioned this in my previous video. Bak, it generally means meat. So bakcho simply means minced meat. Bakmi is noodle with meat. Bakpia, pastry with meat, and bakpao, meat wrapped in the dough, the flour dough in a wrap. Pangsit, when translated, it's called 便食. It means something very fast, ready-made food. Generally, it means wonton dumplings. And in Philippines, Tagalog of pangsit also means any noodle dish, also something very fast. In Philippines, there's also a lot of Hokkien, so they also have a lot of loanwords from this language. And kepo. Ge means chicken and po means female lady. Kepo generally means someone who sticks their head into something, into someone other's problem. Sumpit. Sumpit means chopsticks. Sung means holding a pin. A bit means like a stick. So sumpit is chopsticks. Lumpia. Lumpia. In Indonesian and Tagalog, it means popiah, fried or fresh spring rolls. And pisau in Mandarin is called pisau. Hokkien's called pisu. Same in Tagalog, Indonesian and Malay, known as pisau. And sampan. Sampan, similar to Tagalog, Malay and Indonesian, it means boat. Chinese boat in Hokkien. In Mandarin, it's called sampan. After all, the Hokkien history is so diverse. The Southeast Asian food incorporating Chinese culture are mostly assimilated from Hokkien cuisine. And I honestly think that this short 10 minutes video could not do the entire Hokkien culture a justice, especially the Baba Nyonya Peranakan culture in Malaysia and Indonesia. Perhaps I will leave this in my next video. And as usual, please like, comment and subscribe. Turn on all for the notifications. And I'll see you in my next video of Teochew people. So, bye! Just a disclaimer, I'm not a Hokkien myself, but I've tried my best researching for the Hokkien history. Just in case you find something not accurate about my research, my video, please comment down below to notify me about my mistakes.